Hello everyone and welcome to the 14th video in this series of videos which looks at the Level 2 Essential Skills Wales ICT qualification. Now in the last video what we looked at was customizing bullet points so that they're not the standard basic bullet points that you get when you insert them. Also we looked at enhancing tables using borders, and also what we looked at was text formatting, basic text formatting, which most people should know how to do, which is underline, bold and italics. So you can use all of those throughout your presentation. Now the next thing I want to look at is, first of all, if we have a look at my navigation buttons here, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to actually just make those look like mine do in the final draft, but you can have your action buttons looking exactly as you like, as long as they're slightly different from the first draft to show that you've improved them. So all I did for mine was I selected them like that by double clicking or click format, and then I'm going to change the shape fill to black, the shape outline to blue, so that it keeps in with the consistent theme that I've got going, black and blue and white. Then I'm going to select it again and change the fill color to black and the outline color to blue. And all I'm going to do then is change the text fill to white and the text fill to white there. And that's how I've improved on the buttons, just to make them stick with the consistent theme of the presentation. Now another really useful skill that you can actually use, and I'm going to show you in this draft version here. If I delete these particular images at the moment, I've got my kettle slide. Now remember what I told you, that's really important to save your images. This is one of the reasons why it is quite important. Let's say that I insert a shape. Now I'm going to use a rounded rectangle, but you could use anything you want. You could use a circle or a square, but I'm going to use the rounded rectangle. What I'm going to do is create a shape like that. Now we all know if I double click, it'll bring up my options, so I can change the shape fill to a color, okay, and I can change the outline border to a color that I'd like. So I'm going to choose the blue and change the weight of it to 6. Now the other thing I can do here is I can change the actual outline to a slight different pattern. So I could have dotted lines, dashed lines, okay, a variant on that. So I'm going to keep mine as a dash. Now I'm going to go for a dotted line. So what I can do then is I can change the shape fill to a color that I'd like, or I could actually just change it to a picture. So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to locate on my Essential Skills work, in my presentation folder, I've actually got a folder called Presentation Images where I saved the images. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select one of the kettles. And there it is. And what it's done is it's put it inside that shape nicely for me. But it's the next stage that's going to show you how beneficial this is. If I copy that, so right click copy, right click paste, what I can do now is actually, to keep the images the same size, is just change the shape fill. So I'm going to change the shape fill to a picture, and I'm going to choose the next kettle like that. And then if I right click copy again and paste, you'll see that now all I've got to do again is double click, change the shape fill to a picture, and now I've got my 3 images which are all the same size, and I don't actually have to play around with resizing those again either. And what I'm also going to do now, just to add a bit of interest to the slide, I'm going to select all of my images by clicking on them and holding shift, and I'm going to, over this little green circle, I'm going to rotate them, and I can rotate them right or left and like that. And what I can do then with my text, I can just change the shape outline. I'm going to change this to black. I'm going to change the weight, and again I can change the font style in there to Berlin Sans, but obviously you can choose whichever one you want. And then maybe what I would do is I would draw an arrow to say, right, this is the kettle that I've decided on. I'm going to get the shape and I drag it to this one there. Okay, and again I can change the arrow, change the thickness of the outline and the color like that. So again, that's another way that I can actually get the same size images and make them stand out more as well. So I've rotated them and added a thick border with a dotted line.